Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a deeply personal and meaningful topic, how to scatter a loved one's ashes at sea from a cruise ship. If your loved one had a passion for the ocean or travel, this can be a beautiful way to honor their memory. So let's start on how to make this a respectful and heartfelt experience. First things first, we need to know the rules. Different countries and cruise lines have their own regulations, so here's what you need to do. 1. Check local laws. Look up the marine laws of the country you're sailing from and any international waters you might enter. Some places require permits or have specific areas for scattering ashes. 2. Talk to the cruise lines. Every cruise line has its own policies. Give them a call ahead of time to get all the details and necessary approvals. Next, you need to pick the right cruise. Not all cruise lines allow ash scattering, so choose one that does. When selecting your cruise, consider the destination and weather. Choose a route that's meaningful for your loved one or your family, and aim for calm seas and clear skies for a peaceful experience. Obviously, knowing the weather ahead of time is impossible, but for example, if it is the Caribbean you choose for your cruise, maybe you do not schedule it during hurricane season when the weather is unpredictable. Now, preparation is key. Here's what you'll need to do. Bring the death certificate. Most cruise lines will ask for this. Have it ready. A biodegradable urn. Pick an urn that's environmentally friendly, as many places require this. Plan the ceremony. Decide who will speak, read poems, or share memories. Keep it simple and heartfelt. Because of advanced screening techniques, we do not recommend you try to bring your loved one's ashes on board and do this on your own. It is more than likely the ashes will be discovered and your plans will be ruined. As we mentioned, preparation is key, and contacting the cruise lines is a must. Now, that being said, we have done a lot of the homework for you with 9 of the major cruise lines, and here is what we discovered. Carnival Cruise Lines. Carnival does allow the scattering of ashes. They have a very detailed and easy to find set of guidelines on their website. But here are the highlights. 1. You must bring a death certificate. 2. The remains have been cremated by a licensed facility and an appropriate certificate is issued, and you must carry the certificate with you. 3. The remains must remain on board at all times. 4. The urn must be biodegradable. Now, you must make initial arrangements with Carnival ahead of time. Once on board, contact the guest services desk upon embarkation to arrange the ceremony. The guest services desk will coordinate with you and ship's personnel to arrange appropriate time and locations. Discuss with them your plans and wishes for the ceremony. They will go over with you all the proper procedures. As a precautionary note, I would also carry a copy of Carnival's requirements and procedures that you initially found on their website. Number 2 on our list is Royal Caribbean. Royal does also allow the scattering of ashes. This is the information they provided on their website. Per company policy, we allow the tossing of a biodegradable urn containing ashes while at sea. Ashes must be in an approved scattering or biodegradable urn, free of plastic or wire, and the entire urn must be tossed. A certificate proving that the urn is biodegradable may also be required. Guests will need to provide the death certificate and cremation certificate. Upon boarding, contact the front desk to set up a time and place for this request. All requests must be submitted to the following at least 30 days prior to departure. You're going to want to email gfotravelservices@rccl.com. Again, gfotravelservices@rccl.com. Next on our list is Disney Cruise Lines. Disney does not allow the scattering of ashes from their ships or their theme parks. Now let's talk about NCL. NCL does allow the scattering of ashes, but no information is provided on their website. You will have to call their special events department at least 1 month prior to sailing. You will need to provide death certificate, biodegradable urn certificate, and cremation certificate. Please note that the only ship in their fleet that does not allow the scattering of ashes is the Pride of America, which sails full-time in Hawaii. Also note that the number listed on their site is the General Customer Service Department. You will need to speak with the Special Events Department, which at the time of this video release is extension 11134. Again, extension 11134. Additionally, if you already have a reservation with booking number and wish to send an email first, you can email special events directly at www.ncl.com/special-events.webform. There you will be able to make initial contact and the special events department will call you back. This method of contact requires a booking number, so please do not attempt to use this method if you are just looking for more information. If that is the case, call the customer service number listed on the site and then the extension 11134. Next is Holland America. Holland America also allows the scattering of ashes at sea, but no information is available on their website. You must call them. Here is the information that was provided to us by Holland America. The spreading of ashes can be done while on board any Holland America Line cruise. Guests who wish to do this should contact Hal prior to their cruise, and then again once on board to make the arrangements with the guest relations manager or hotel director for the appropriate date, time, and day for the ceremony. Please have the guests send their request in writing to Onboard's Event Services via the email listed below. It is onboardeventservices@hollandamerica.com. Or you can fax it at 866-426-9337. Burial at sea of cremated remains can only be done while cruising in international waters and at least 12 nautical miles off the coastline. If they wish to bury the ashes in an urn or other container, it must be provided by the guest and be biodegradable. Flowers and wreaths that are decomposable in the marine environment may be placed at the burial site. An officer is required by EPA regulations to be present for the spreading of the ashes. Holland America does not perform memorial services. However, if a guest would like to have clergy present, this can be requested. The captain can provide a certificate with the ship's position and time of the burial. Guests should contact customs and airlines in regards to any paperwork, certificates, or permits that may be needed to travel with remains. By the way, guys, if you're finding this video to be helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, please do us a huge favor and consider giving it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, feel free to subscribe to the channel too. It is completely free, and your support is truly appreciated. We would also love to hear your experiences with the cruise lines if you have ever decided to lay to rest your loved one at sea. Please share your story in the comments below. Now let's move on. MSC. MSC does allow the scattering of ashes at sea, but also does not provide any information on their website. You must call them directly for arrangements and guidelines. Here is what they told us. Families may request to spread a loved one's ashes at sea during their MSC cruise. MSC wants to make the process as meaningful and respectful as possible. Therefore, specific procedures are in place to review such requests. Here is the ceremony policies. The ceremony date will be confirmed once on board and is subject to weather conditions. Guests may be contacted by the event's coordinator to make arrangements and determine a time to hold the ceremony in international waters at the lowest speed possible, considering appropriate weather conditions. If the guest submitted to have the ceremony on a specific date, they will be advised if that date is confirmed and/or possible. The ceremony will be performed when duly distant from the coast, typically 12 miles or more. A suitable spot will be chosen, lowest sea access point. A water biodegradable urn allows for a smoother ceremony. Guests can be referred to the company Passages International. The occasion is marked with an entry into the ship's log, and a copy of which can be provided to the guest as an official logbook extract at the end of the cruise. Now, only biodegradable material can be placed in ocean waters. Natural flowers are allowed, but wreaths bound with wire and/or balloons or anything else with non-biodegradable parts are not permitted. Guests are responsible to research any customs declarations, carriage needs for the urn for both the country of origin, embarkation, and/or traveling means. All guests attending the event will be required to sign the restrictive area waiver. This document is required as the guests may need to visit areas of the ship that are not open to the general public, i.e. designated for crew only. They also stated that you can reach out if you require any further information. Okay, on to Princess Cruise Lines. If your loved one loved Princess Cruise Lines, the good news is they also allow the scattering of ashes. Though they do acknowledge this on their website, no details are provided there, other than that it is allowed, and they provided email for you to contact them directly. Here are the main guidelines in the email we received from them. Ashes must be brought on board already contained in a biodegradable, water-soluble urn and must be unopened as it enters the water. Suitable materials include sand and gelatin, paper pillows or boxes, salt urns or clay urns. Bamboo is not an acceptable material. A certificate of receipt with the product description must be presented as proof that the urn is biodegradable and complies with environmental regulations. Loose ashes are unable to be scattered due to the windy nature of the decks while at sea. The sealed urn will be placed overboard by a family member or friend while the ship is at sea. Biodegradable package or containers are not available for sale on board the ship. Scattering of flowers or flower petals may or may not be permitted and will be at the discretion of the officers on board. Ashes may not be released in Alaskan waters. However, there are opportunities to dispense ashes during Alaskan cruises in international waters. Exact locations will be decided by the deck officers on board, due to several factors and regulations that must be considered. In accordance with environmental regulations, only ashes, biodegradable urns, and biodegradable flowers, where allowable, are permitted to be dispersed overboard. Cards, papers, metals, plastics, and other non-biodegradable items are not permitted. Our ships do not employ a chaplain. Virgin Cruise Lines. Similar to Holland, Virgin Cruise Lines does acknowledge on their website that the scattering of ashes is possible, yet no details or guidelines are provided there. You must call or email. Here is what we learned. 1. If the sailor or sailors are planning to cast the entire urn box overboard, it will need to be biodegradable and a certificate will need to be provided for verification 14 days prior to the voyage date. 2. As part of our commitment to sustainability, we do not allow balloons, ribbons, or any additional material to be thrown overboard. Sailors cannot bring additional items that are non-biodegradable. 3. Ashes cannot be spread in port. 4. Ashes must be in a biodegradable container and thrown overboard at least 12 miles away from shore. Now, the sailors will be given approval by the shipboard crew member as to when they can throw the biodegradable urn overboard. 5. The ceremony will take place, weather permitting, at a date and time approved by shipboard personnel. Now, Celebrity Cruises. There was no information at all on Celebrity's website. We called them and they confirmed that it is allowed and was provided an email to request further information, as the person we spoke to had no additional information. We did receive an email back very quickly, and here's the information provided. Kindly note that the following items must be presented to the vessel once on board: death certificate, cremation certificate, biodegradable urn certificate. The above 4 items mentioned must accompany the loved one's ashes for your request to be fulfilled. Once on board, the ship's guest services staff will coordinate a time and place for the ceremony. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us back. Now, obviously, these cruise lines, as well as others, sail out of different locations all over the world. Generally, the information provided here for these 9 cruise lines will be the same no matter where they sail. However, if you are sailing on any other cruise lines other than these 9, we recommend you first looking at their websites. If there is no information given, give them a call directly. If they allow the scattering of ashes, the guidelines will be similar to those we have already spoken about. Now that you have a general understanding of what these 9 major cruise lines require, here is your plan of action. Once you have chosen a cruise line and booked your cruise, it is time to prepare. Make sure you pack the essentials. Bring the urn and ensure it's secure to avoid any accidents during the trip. Bring personal items like photos or flowers to personalize the ceremony. Keep all necessary documents in a safe, accessible place. If you choose to bring flowers, make sure that it is allowed by the cruise line in advance. When you get to the ship, let the staff know about your plans. Inform guest services upon boarding the ship, and they'll guide you through the process and help arrange a good time and place for the ceremony. Stick to the guidelines they provide to make sure everything goes smoothly and legally. Now let's talk about the ceremony itself. The crew will help you pick a good time and spot, usually at the back of the ship. Early morning or sunset is often ideal. Once you're at the spot, set up any personal items like photos or flowers. Get the urn ready. Start with a few words, a prayer, or a moment of silence. Read poems, share memories, or play special music. When you're ready, carefully open the urn. Hold it close to the water to avoid any wind issues, and slowly scatter the ashes into the sea. You can also scatter flowers or petals or other biodegradable items. If scattering of ashes is not allowed, when ready, release the urn overboard. After the ceremony, take time to reflect. Spend some time with family and friends, sharing stories and supporting each other. Some cruise lines offer a certificate or documentation of the scattering, which can be a meaningful keepsake. It's important to be respectful of the environment. Using biodegradable urns as required will naturally break down in the sea. And avoid scattering anything that won't decompose naturally to protect marine life and the ocean. This can be an emotional process, so lean on your support system. Family, friends can be a great source of comfort. If you're struggling, please consider seeking professional help. Having a memorial at home or in a special place can help you feel connected to your loved one. Sharing the experience can also be healing. Document the ceremony or take photos to remember the moment. Share the experience with friends and family who couldn't be there. And if you're comfortable, share your journey online to honor your loved one and help others going through similar experiences. Scattering a loved one's ashes at sea from a cruise ship can be a meaningful and beautiful tribute. By understanding the regulations, preparing thoroughly, and conducting the ceremony respectfully, you can create a touching farewell. Remember, this is a personal and emotional journey, and it's okay to feel a range of emotions throughout the process. Thank you for watching and spending this time with me. If you found this guide helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe for more content. If you have any questions or personal experiences to share, leave them in the comments below. Take care, and until we see you in the next video, be safe.